What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over the mythic weapons and medallions in Chapter 5, Season 4. As always, if you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below which medallion and mythic weapon is your favorite so far in Season 4. Also, if you guys are watching this video after it's been out for a bit, Fortnite tends to change things, rebalance item, add new mythics, and things of that nature. So this video is made very early on in the season. The three mythics we have are Mysterio's shotgun, Emma Frost's striker burst rifle, and Dr. Doom's pistol. Mysterio's shotgun can be obtained from Mysterio at Doomstat. This, when compared to the mythic, will do 4 more body damage and 5 more headshot damage. And I really don't like the attachments on this one too much, but with the recent buffs to the Sovereign shotgun, I think it's a lot more usable. It has 1.15x red dot sight, the laser sight, and the suppressor attachment. And the reason why I'm not a huge fan of these attachments is, one, I don't like having a suppressor on my shotgun. So that's just like one. Laser sight is typically fine on a shotgun, but since the Sovereign kind of heavily incentivizes you to aim in, I would like to use the angled foregrip on here for faster aim and speed. And then I also don't like having a red dot on my shotgun, especially with this one, since it kind of incentivizes you to aim in more, like I was just saying. So I am not the biggest fan of the Mysterio shotgun. However, I will take it if I have like a green or maybe a blue Sovereign shotgun. I might take the mythic in the meantime. And then once I get to weapon bunkers, be able to get like a purple or a gold one, hopefully, with attachments that I prefer. Earlier on in the season, I was not taking it at all. Like, it felt like the aim down sight time on the mythic was like horrendously bad. But since they recently improved the aim in speed of the Mysterio shotgun, I feel like it is a lot more manageable. And like I said, I will use it at some times. The Emma Frost striker burst rifle can be obtained from Emma Frost at the Raft POI. This has 2 more damage and 3 more headshot damage than the legendary version of the striker burst rifle. Her mythic attachments are 1.15x sight, speed mag, speed grip for faster strafe speed, and muzzle brake for reduced recoil. The attachments on this are mostly what I would want aside from speed grip. I would prefer to have like vertical grip or maybe even laser for better hipfire. The speed grip isn't terrible though. I just am someone who strafe aims a good amount, which means I aim by like moving my character side to side. And when you have the speed grip and you strafe faster, this kind of affects how that feels. You know, if you're used to strafing at one speed and aiming that way, and then you're strafing much faster when you have this one, it does feel a bit off, but it isn't enough to make me not want to use the Emma Frost Striker Burst. So I will take this mythic one if I get access to it, and if I'm using the Striker Burst that game. Typically, I prefer to use the Striker AR, the fully automatic one. That has been my favorite so far in Season 4. But, you know, if I don't have a Striker AR yet, or maybe I just feel like using the Burst that game, I do think the Mythic is very good. So if you are someone who enjoys using the Striker Burst rifle, I would definitely recommend taking this one. I feel like the attachments on it are pretty solid. The Dr. Doom pistol can be obtained from Doombot at Castle Doom. It has 2 more damage when hip fired at 49 damage. And 3 more damage when aimed down sight at 81 damage compared to the legendary version. So hip firing it is 2 more, headshots or aiming in is 3 more than the legendary version. And then this does headshot for 142 damage. Kind of weird to talk about this weapon because it has so many different versions, like whether or not you're hip firing or aiming in, you know. For the attachments, it only has a red dot sight attachment, which is kind of odd. But it has the ammo as if it has drum mag. The base ammo on the Monarch pistol is 7. When with drum mag it's 9. And this mythic one has 9 in the mag, but you don't actually have the drum mag attachment. And this is actually very good because the drum mag attachment makes you reload slower. If you guys didn't know, when you put on drum mag or any of the extended mags, you actually reload slower than the base mag. So this Monarch pistol mythic has the ammo as if it has drum mag, but without actually the downside of having drum mag. I would like to have laser sight on this pistol for better hipfire, and then I wouldn't mind having muzzle brake, but it's really not that big of a deal. If I was going to use the Monarch pistol, I would be very happy to have this mythic version for sure. If you don't like having a red dot sight on it for whatever reason, like you just prefer the third person version or a different sight, then using like a purple or a gold one with attachments of your liking isn't the end of the world. But personally, if I was going to use the Monarch pistol, I would be happy to have the mythic one, and I would go for that one if I was going to use it. I just rarely use this weapon because it just doesn't really fit in my inventory this season. I typically prefer to just use like shotgun, AR, jetpack, heals, and then the shield bubbles to kind of counter some of the other Marvel items like the rockets from the War Machine arsenal, the Doctor Doom mythic we're about to talk about in a moment, and then also the Captain America shield. I feel like using the shield bubbles is nice to deal with all of those items. So I don't really have room for the pistol. Typically, I don't want to drop my AR for it, and I don't want to drop my shield bubbles for it. But it is a very, very good weapon, and if I was going to use it, I would like to have the mythic one. There also is a Doom kind of like green energy ball mythic that you can get at Castle Doom. I am not really going to talk about this one too much because I haven't really used it, and it's not my preferred playstyle, so my opinion on this doesn't really matter. Like, it's just not how I like playing the game, so I'm probably not going to like this item, you know? But from people I've seen that do like that playstyle, it seems like his gauntlets or whatever they are do a good amount of damage, and they're an effective item. So if you do enjoy some of the more like kind of superpower or anime mythic weapons, you'll probably enjoy the Doctor Doom mythic as well that you can get at Castle Doom. So that is it for the mythic weapons. I think they're all pretty solid this season. A lot of them I don't end up using, but I feel like if I did like using the Striker Burst, I would use the Emma Frost one very often. Like I would be going for it consistently. And then I think the Mysterio shotgun is okay, but it's just not what I prefer as far as that shotgun goes. So I feel like they did a fine job with the mythic weapons this season. The medallions, I think they also did a pretty good job on. And so far, I feel like this is shaping up to be one of my favorite seasons in Chapter 5 because of how the medallions are and how I feel about them. I think the medallions this season are a lot more balanced, and I don't feel like compelled to rush to get one, especially because there's no mobility medallion. Last season when we had unlimited nitro, or in season 2 when someone had the Cerberus medallion with like regenerating dashes, it felt like playing against somebody using that was a struggle, and like catching up to somebody using that was a struggle. And so I felt like constantly in a rush to get there from the moment I land. Whereas this season, I feel like early game, I can play a lot more at my own pace, and it makes playing around these medallions a lot more enjoyable. We have 3 this season. So the Mysterio medallion you can get from Mysterio at Doomstat makes you invisible when you crouch. And I really do not like this medallion at all. When you move around, your character can be seen. You have like a kind of bluish effect on you. If you just stand still, you are pretty much entirely invisible. But there is an audio cue when somebody's using this that makes it like pretty apparent that they're close to you. And there's also an animation when you try to like shoot your weapon after going invisible, where your character has to like deactivate the invisibility. It's not like the invisibility just turns off once you start shooting, and you can get like one shot while invisible, you know? If you try to shoot, your character does an animation, and then you can start shooting after that. So I feel like even if you wanted to use this to like ambush people, it's really not that good. And if you've used any of the other invisibility items we've had in Fortnite, like the Metal Gear item in Season 1, I thought that one was better because it did an EMP. Or the gloves in Chapter 4, it's similar to that, except it's a medallion instead of an inventory slot, but I was never really fond of those items anyways. If you liked them, you'll probably like this medallion, but I think this is the worst medallion in the game, and I pretty much never want to pick this up. And from seeing, you know, other people talk about it, seems other people are in agreement on that. The other 2 medallions I think are quite good. So the Emma Frost medallion scans the area like how it would when you had if you hire one of the scanner NPCs. That's basically the effect you get for having this medallion, except you don't have to hire an NPC. You just have the medallion in your inventory. The scan happens every 50 seconds. And one crazy thing is the cooldown is per player, not attached to the medallion itself. It's not like the medallion scans every 15 seconds, or 50, sorry. It's not like the medallion scans every 50 seconds. Each player every 50 seconds can get a scan from the medallion. And the reason why that's so relevant is because in team game modes, you can share the medallion with your teammates. You could have like one person who just carries it consistently, and then have the other person who maybe doesn't get it that often, but you know that like, okay, if we drop it to this player, we'll get a scan exactly when we need it. I'll have a clip on that on screen now, where in this end game, we knew this player was under us, and I knew that I hadn't gotten the medallion in a while, so I asked my teammate to drop me it. And then the scan happened as soon as I dropped it, and as soon as I got it, and we knew exactly what this final player was doing, where they were, and if they were going for the revive on their teammate. So I feel like the fact that you can share this medallion amongst teammates is kind of crazy. you could just consistently drop it and kind of share it around the squad. That way you're getting as many scans as possible. Or like I said, I think I would prefer to have one person carry it, especially in duos, have one person carry it, and then one person who doesn't often get it, but gets it whenever you need a scan in that moment. I think that would be very helpful. And you can actually hire an NPC while you have this medallion. So you could hire the Artemis NPC, who's a recon this season. So you could have the medallion to scan and then have the NPC to scan, and they could scan on different intervals as long as you time it right. Like if you hire the NPC right when your medallion scans, y'all are going to be scanning at the same time. But if you like scan with your medallion and then wait like, I don't know, 15 seconds and then hire the NPC, then you would get them like staggered. And I think that would be quite good. So I think the Emma Frost medallion is really good. And then the Dr. Doom medallion is also very good that you can get at Castle Doom. This one is Siphon. So it's fairly straightforward, fairly simple. There's not really that much to talk about. You get 50 shield or health on elimination if you have this medallion in your inventory. So if you're 50 health and you eliminate an opponent, you'll be at 100 health. If you're full health and you eliminate an opponent, that HP will go to shield. And it's not, it can be both. So like if you are 80 health and you got an elimination, you would go to 100 health, 30 shield. Like it gives you 50 filling HP first. Very good effect. I like having it. It's probably my favorite medallion. I think the two best are the Emma Frost scan and the Siphon, obviously, but I think I prefer the Siphon just because of how I play. But I think most players will prefer the Emma Frost medallion because scanning the area is pretty OP. But that is going to be it for this video. And yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the mythic items and which medallion is your favorite this season. And if you guys did enjoy this, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.